There is one thing that most investors never realize. In this market, the people who make the most money are not the best analysts, not the earliest adopters of technology, but the ones who design the rules of the game. A very small group, silent, discreet, invisible on social media, never arguing in Telegram groups. The people we call the financial elite. They don't follow trends, they create trends. And what they are quietly building and controlling right now, while small retail traders like us don't notice, is AI tokens. While the crowd is busy arguing about whether AI-generated images look good, whether chatbots answer intelligently, the elite sees something else. Behavioral data, predictive models, market control power. To them, AI is not just a trend, it is a tool, a technology, a lever, a machine that generates profit from human data. I know this not because I read it in the news, but because I have seen it operate. I will share this as someone who once stood exactly where you were standing and then stepped into the real game. It all began on a rainy night. A short message from someone I had never met. There is a small AI token being funded by funds in Switzerland. I thought it was just a rumor, but a few days later, I realized I had just touched the edge of a power system that most people don't even know exists. At first, that message only made me laugh. An unknown token? No notable white paper? No public team? Not on any ranking sites? I had seen too many trash projects like that. But a few days later, something made me stop. In a leaked internal investment report in a private group, I saw a familiar name. A Swiss investment fund that had previously backed an AI startup that just IPO'd on NASDAQ. At that moment, I felt something was not normal. Many people think the elite invest based on intuition. No, they invest based on information others don't have. If a fund like that quietly pours money into a token that no one knows about, then either they are crazy or they know something the market hasn't realized yet. I decided to check on-chain. When I traced the first wallet, I realized it wasn't a normal trading wallet. No FOMO buying, no lump sum accumulation, everyday small buy orders, consistent, time distributed, price distributed. As if someone was building a bottom, accumulating liquidity, stabilizing the price zone. No pumping, no drawing attention. That is the style of institutions. I continued tracing the money. Another cold wallet appeared. This wallet was connected to an OTC exchange in Switzerland where large transactions happen out of public sight. What made me shiver was, every time the price dipped slightly, that wallet bought more. No selling, no profit taking, only buying. That is not the behavior of a normal trader. That is the behavior of someone building a long-term position. I started wavering. At that time, I was holding another altcoin position and was in profit. I should have stayed disciplined, but something pushed me. This is not just a coin. This is a doorway into the future. I sold part of my ETH, split it into 3 small wallets, and bought the AI token, just a probe. 3 days later, the price rose 40%. But what worried me wasn't the price increase. It was the trading volume increasing 5x while the chart remained stable. No spikes, no FOMO, no pump. As if an invisible hand was regulating the market rhythm. I decided to dig deeper. The project's white paper had nothing remarkable. The website was simple, the team information was vague, everything looked like a shell. But in the GitHub, I saw something that sent chills down my spine. An API connected to a covert AI project that had once been mentioned in an internal report of a Swiss bank. No one talked about it publicly, no media, just a few lines of code. But for those who can see, it was a sign this is not a normal project. I began to understand. What the elite were building was not a token. It was a system to collect user behavioral data to train their private financial AI. Every transaction, every staking, every reward claim, all became data. While I was connecting these clues, an email appeared. A Tier 2 exchange invited me to be a KOL to promote the project before listing. I declined. But the important part was I knew the machine had begun operating. The game designers had pressed the launch button, and I was lucky to be standing on the runway before the plane left the ground. Small KOLs began mentioning the project. Some private groups discussed it, but the crowd still didn't notice. They were busy chasing meme coins, pump dump plays, airdrops. Meanwhile, I saw familiar signs: silent accumulation, liquidity control, psychological setup, a scripted scenario. Then something happened that truly shook me. In the project's Telegram group, a new admin appeared. No avatar, username was just a string of characters. But the way he coordinated discussion, dropped information, maintained order, was not like a normal person. I traced his writing style and discovered it matched an anonymous Medium article from a former Palantir employee who worked on US defense projects. That was the moment I understood. This game was no longer simple blockchain. It involved power, data, and global strategy. One evening, I looked at the chart and noticed something unusual. Trading volume tripled, but price didn't move. For beginners, that was nothing. But for someone experienced, it was a clear signal. Someone was accumulating a large amount without drawing attention. I checked on-chain. A cold wallet had just bought $2 million, split into many small orders spread over 12 hours. No one does that if they only want 2x or 3x. This is how you build a price floor, reinforce the base, prepare for an information pump. I sat quietly for a few minutes. This was no longer a trader's game. This was a campaign. 3 days later, the token appeared on CoinGecko. A week later on CMC. Everything happened exactly as scripted. KOLs started talking, groups became lively, green candles appeared, the crowd rushed in. But one detail chilled me. Every time the price surged, a tiny red candle immediately appeared, as if someone was controlling the speed of the increase so the crowd wouldn't suspect a pump. I continued tracking the big wallets. None of them sold. Only the new buyers began taking profits. I remembered something an old mentor once told me. When the big fish haven't sold, the game is still long. I held my position. As for me, I just sat still. Not happy, not excited. Because when I checked on chain, I saw something that made my heart stop. The wallets that accumulated from the beginning still didn't sell. A day later, a major VC fund in Singapore released an AI analysis report in which a small section mentioned this project. Just one sentence, but enough for the price to rise another 70%. The crowd began to believe. This is the opportunity of a lifetime. Then the decisive moment came. Official announcement of Binance launch pool listing. I looked at my account, X40, but I still didn't jump up and celebrate. Not because I wasn't happy, but because I understood. I had just passed the first test of the elite. Many people think the elite make money by luck. No, they win because they know information early, design the market, control crowd psychology, create demand, control liquidity. The crowd never sees the hand behind the scenes. They only see the chart rising. Here is the harsh truth.
When you read the white paper, they had already spoken with the dev team. When you ask, is it a good entry now? They are drinking wine with the founder on a private party in Geneva. When you argue in Telegram groups, they are deciding when to pump news, when to list, when to exit. I once thought I was a good analyst until I discovered they use AI to backtest community sentiment, predict FOMO timing, identify behavioral weaknesses, classify whale wallets, newbie wallets, create fake waves to test market reaction. Not AI assisting investment, AI controlling the market. And the scariest part? AI tokens are just an excuse. What they really want? Your behavioral data. Every time you stake, farm, claim rewards, you provide your risk tolerance, your expected profit level, your trading habits, your reaction to price volatility, your FOMO level. All of it is fed into machine learning models, and their AI becomes more accurate. When they have enough data, they don't need to guess the market anymore. They create the market. At this point, I had to face a truth. If you don't own AI, or at least understand how AI works in finance, you are no longer an investor. You are liquidity. A year later, when the market entered a new cycle, the ones left were not the smartest, but the survivors. The elite don't always win, but they are never removed from the game because they always manage risk first, seek profit later. Ultimately, the lesson I learned is, this is not a game for the naive. If you don't know when to stop, when to stay out, when to take profit, you are not an investor. You are a victim in the asset distribution chain. And if you've watched this far, I believe you are not a normal person. You are someone who dares to face the truth. There is one thing I understood only after a long time. In this market, the winner is not the smartest, not the fastest, but the one who knows what game they are playing.
Most people enter crypto hoping to change their lives. The elite enter to rewrite the rules of the game. Have you ever wondered, why can some people get rich in just one cycle, while most lose everything? Not because they are unlucky, but because they don't realize a simple truth. They are not investing, they are only reacting. Reacting to news, reacting to emotions, reacting to the crowd. While the game designers, they create those reactions. The market doesn't care how smart you are, doesn't care how hard you try, doesn't care how many analyses you read. The market only cares about one thing: who loses money, who keeps money. And if you are not clear-headed enough to know when to stop, when to stay out, when to withdraw, then you are not a player. You are a resource for the system. It sounds harsh, but the moment you accept that, you truly step to the other side, the side of the survivors. To survive, you don't need to be a genius. You just need to not follow the crowd, not delude yourself, not consider luck as a strategy. Protect capital before seeking profit, because in this game, the one who reaches the end is not the one who wins the biggest, but the one who doesn't get eliminated. If one day you look back and realize you are still in the game, still have capital, still have clarity of mind, then you are already ahead of 95% of the market. And when the next cycle arrives, those who prepared today will be the ones picking up gold in the chaos. If you've listened this far, I believe you are not a normal person. Normal people quit long ago. You are someone who dares to face the truth, dare to question yourself, dare to change your mindset. And the path to awakening is never a path walked alone. Leave your thoughts below. What are you facing in this market? Are you worried about, expecting, or betting on? I will read every line, and maybe your story will be the topic of the next video. If what I shared resonated with you, and you know someone who needs it, send it to them. One share may save someone from a painful financial crash. Thank you for staying until the end. This is not just a video. This is where we unlock real-world investing mindset together. No noise, no glamour, only truth for those mature enough to listen. See you in the next journey. And remember, in this world, the ones who survive long enough are the true winners.